Okay, so we're going to start with the soup because it takes a little while to go. I've got some behind me in the crock pot, so we're going to start with the soup. And the thing that I want y'all to know about before we start with this is that in the recipe it says to put the onions in first and let them sweat, and then add everything else. I'm going to do a Cajun thing and add these three sisters in first and let them sweat together. So the celery, the peppers, and the onions are going to go in and sweat a little bit with some herbs and stuff. So they all get kind of caramelized and soft together. Okay? New people, hey, thanks for coming tonight. We're going to have 2 more classes in this series, January 4th and January 18th. And then after that, we're going to 1 class a month for the rest of the winter into early spring. On the back table where you picked up your recipes, I have a roster of people that I will connect with and let them know what the class is going to be about. It's going to be in the paper too, but if you just want a big heads up, just write your name and your phone number or email or whatever, and I'll connect with you and let you know. So there's that. Ta-da! Okay. Actually, yes, that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to do the soup right now, and so this is going to be the faster version, and the faster version takes about 45 minutes from start to eating. So I got the olive oil. I'll put the olive oil in. I'm using California olive oil because I love it. It's a really nice pure olive oil. And so I'm letting that heat up. While this is heating up, we'll talk a little bit about the homemade 10 spice blend. It's on the second page. And it's got 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika, which is awesome. It's a really, really nice flavor to it, smoked pepper. And then we have a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of dried oregano, a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of dried basil. Then we have 2 teaspoons of dried thyme, and then I used a pepper, black pepper, sea salt, and then a teaspoon of white pepper, which is actually a little more potent than black pepper. And then I used a teaspoon of cayenne. And it makes a glorious batch of spice that you can use. If you add a little sugar to this, you can make a rub out of it. If you add if you add a little sugar to it, you can make it a marinade as well, with a little balsamic, with a little olive oil and vinegar. Really nice. So this stuff will last for a long time. This goes into the soup. Okay. I'm probably not going to do the cashews tonight. They've been soaking. This recipe originally was vegan, so it has a cashew cream to it. Simple to make. It's just that I'm not going to run out of time tonight, so I'm not going to make it with a cashew cream. But it's really simple to do. I'm going to use half and half.
What part of the store do you get that in?
Well, no, you make it. So you soak the cashews for several hours, or two, at least 2, and then you drain them off, and then you put them in a blender with a little vegetable broth, and it makes a really nice thick cream. And you can use that if you're vegan, or if you just have a lactose intolerance or whatever. You can use that cashew cream anytime you use a savory. If you're in a savory cream situation and you don't want to use milk. But tonight I'm using half and half just for expedience. Okay, so I've got this really screaming hot. I'm going to take it down to half high. And I'm going to add these 3 sisters now. So I have celery, I have red pepper, and I have onion, and it makes a pretty flag. color, like sort of Mexican. And I'm going to throw this in. Okay, Judy? You okay, babe? Oh, great. Okay, and another thing I'm going to do, we used this Lighthouse salad herb blend. This is dehydrated herbs. And I use this instead of Mrs. Dash, just for additional depth of flavor in the onions, the peppers, and the celery. And I want it to be fairly high seasoned, so I'm going to add about a handful like this. This is a salad herb blend. Again, this is all dehydrated, great stuff from Lighthouse. And it has parsley, red onions, chives, shallots, garlic, and dill. You can rehydrate this in vinegar and use it for dressings. Really, really nice. I'm going to sweat this out just a little bit, just so the vegetables get tender. Add a little salt. That's really pretty. Okay, while this is sweating, I'm going to move to another part of the menu, which is the salad, because I want to get this red onion into some cold water so it takes out a little of the acid of the red onion. Makes it a little less potent. Even though red onions are really sweet, soaking them in water for just a little bit makes them totally tearless, says Beth. Just mellows it out just a little bit. So everybody here gonna have a big Christmas? Anybody doing anything interesting? Hey y'all. So I'm slicing this red onion pretty thin because nobody likes really big chunks of red onion, really, I don't think. Huh? Smell the sisters. Okay. Hey Terry, y'all haven't missed all that much. Okay. These are going soaking. So that's the red onion that I'm soaking in cold water for just a little bit while these are softening up. Yeah. Yeah. It just takes a little bit of time for that to, it takes 10 minutes. You smell this? Ah, I can't see a dang thing. My glasses just got facialed. So I want to let these go just a little bit longer, not much longer. And while I'm letting these go just a little bit longer, I'm going to move to making I'm going to make sour milk for the cornbread. Instead of using buttermilk or sweet milk, I'm going to make sour milk. And so what I'm going to do, this is on page 2, is this is whole milk. So this is 1.25 cups of whole milk. And to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of vinegar and a tablespoon of lemon juice. That's going to thicken that up. Do y'all do this? I mean, it goes immediately. It thickens up immediately. Miss Edna Lewis taught me that through her book, not in person. So I'm going to let that sit and thicken up for just a couple of minutes. This looks like it's ready for the garlic. Okay, y'all, Terry, I use this salad herb blend in with the Three Sisters, the celery, the onion, and the red pepper. I put those all in first. I didn't just do the onions and then add the celery and the green pepper. I did them all at once, just like a Cajun thing. And I added this salad herb blend in there and some salt to season it with. Now I'm going to add a little bit of garlic, 3-ish cloves out of my trusted chopped garlic container. Give this a quick stir. And I'm going, these are newish potatoes, and I cut them earlier. I soaked them in water so they wouldn't get funky colored. But now it's time to turn them into the soup. In go the potatoes. If you do this in a pressure cooker, it goes even faster. In go carrots. Now I cheated these a bit. I used our little bags of shaved carrots, and you know these aren't babies, right? Everyone knows that. What these are old big carrots that have been shaved down to the core, and that's what these are. And I just chopped them up a little bit. I was so disappointed when I found out those weren't really baby carrots. What?
I was disappointed when I found that out too. I saw that on TV.
Okay, and let's see what comes next. I think that's about it. Tomatoes. Okay, I use the Italian San Marzano tomatoes. These are the best tasting tomatoes we have downstairs. They're amazing. So I use this can just on top of a pizza, just like it is, and just add a little. I mean, it's so good. It's that good. This is where the regular cans are. So this is a 28-ounce San Marzano. Okay. Carrie, you looked like, oh yes, I know those tomatoes. Those are our favorite tomatoes. You use them a lot too? Yeah. All right. So here comes the base. Hey Kay, welcome. Okay, and I'm going to add the tomato juice. I'm so glad you came, Kay. You're totally behind in the class, but
I'll stay after class. Yeah. Please make me stay. Good luck with that.
you missed so much. Okay. So now that's everything except for, I was so excited tonight when I went downstairs and found I can't believe it's not bouillon, the vegetable base. The vegetable base, I can't believe it's not bouillon, because I haven't seen it downstairs. I've only seen the chicken and the beef, so I was really excited when I saw the vegetable. And I use this better than bouillon, the chicken and the vegetable and the beef, because there's nothing weird in it. I'm not going to add any water to this recipe whatsoever. I'm just going to take a tablespoon of it and throw it into the soup. Super rich. And you can keep this in your refrigerator, so that's really cool. Better than bouillon. It's not cheap, y'all, but it's really tasty. This is made with garden carrots, celery, onions, and tomatoes. And you only have to use like a tablespoon of it. It does last a long time. Dissolve 1 teaspoon, and that's equal to 1 bouillon cube, in 8 ounces of boiling water. It's going into boiling soup, so we're good. That's it. So.
Did you add that in place of the spice mix?
No, I'm going to put the spice mix in now. I just use that instead of the vegetable broth because I used more of the tomato juice. I don't want to use any water in this. I'm going to crank this up. I want to get it boiling. Now I'm going to add the spice mix. This is a 10 spice mix. And again, it's a smoked paprika. It's nice. It's a nice mix. I like it a lot. So that's a tablespoon. Stir that in. So you can tell by looking at this and knowing what you guys know as far as tomatoes, tomato soup, and tomato-based products. Now, this is going to be awesome the next day. I mean, the next day, this is going to be incredible soup. I advocate, again, you can use a pot, you can use a regular soup pot like this, make it go really fast, use your pressure cooker, slow it down so you can develop flavor in the crock pot. So these are 2 different ways of making this soup. I'm going to cover it up. I've got it cranked up. I'm going to wait. They're cooked already. So I'm just warming them up. Back there on that one, it's already in there. Also, right before we eat, I'm going to throw some spinach in that pot back there. So that's going to be a really, really nice soup. Nobody's waiting for this soup. What? Does it? Oh, that makes me happy. Even the saltines. I love saltines. I'm sorry, I'm a saltine girl. So in my world, the longer you can let this soup cook on low, you know, you can have it go all day long. And then just before we go sledding this New Year's Eve,